Willkommen and welcome back to a new lesson. Today we are going to continue with the second part of the last lesson. Yesterday we talked about accusative and how it answers to the question was. In other words, accusative are the nouns that are the direct objects in the sentences. Today, we are going to talk about the second part. It is dative. And just like accusative, dative is a grammar case that is used to describe the reason why the articles of the nouns changes sometimes. As you can see here, just like accusative, dative changes the articles, der, die, and das, and of course the plural. However, this only happens when this noun is used as an indirect object, this time in a sentence. In dative, the question asked should be wem, and wem means to whom in English. For example, to whom am I giving the book? Next, we are going to talk about some things that are going to help you to figure out whether the sentence or this noun, dative or accusative. But for now, what you have to know that dative is the same as the indirect objects. And it answers to the question wem, which means to whom. And the third most important thing is that, sadly, dative changes all articles. Not like accusative that only changes der into den. Here, it's going to be a bit more complicated. Starting with der in dative is going to be dem with an M. And the same goes with einem. The same thing is with das. Das is also changed in dative into dem or einem. Opposite to accusative, where das stays the same and only der changes. In dative, both der and das change into dem or einem. However, die would change to der. It doesn't make any sense, I know, but it is like that. Die in dative changes into der and einer with an R. So in accusative it stays the same, but die in dative is turned into der. And finally, die plural is changed into den, just like the der form in accusative. But in addition, you have to add an n at the end of the noun and not of the article. For example, den Büchern. The original word is die Bücher, and in dative you say den Büchern, so you add n at the end as well. I would recommend for you to draw a map and write how the articles change both in accusative and dative, and run and go through the map several times until you get it. Again, with practice, with time, you are going to get really fast at it and you don't have to think about it anymore. But for now, it is really important to know which article changes to what and in which case, whether it's dative or accusative. It's really important to be able to distinguish between those two cases. So we have der and das into dem and einem. Die is going to be der and einer. And the plural is den with an N at the end of the noun. See, I told you it's more complicated than accusative, where you only change der. But we are going to go through it. Let's see this sentence, for example. Peter gibt dem Lehrer das Heft. So you can easily see that Peter is the subject or the pronoun. Gibt is the main verb. To give comes from geben. Peter gives the book to the teacher. So the question you could ask in the dative is to whom? To whom is Peter giving the book? And the answer is dem Lehrer, to the teacher. And because Lehrer in the original form is der Lehrer, der would change into dem. So you write dem Lehrer. So dem Lehrer is the indirect object. And finally, das Heft. Was gibt Peter dem Lehrer? What does Peter give the teacher? The notebook. So yes, das Heft is in this case the accusative noun. And it stays das Heft because das Heft originally is also das Heft and it doesn't require any changes in accusative. Does it make sense? I told you before that there are some special things that would help you to recognize whether the noun is in accusative or dative. The first thing that you have to know is that there are some special verbs that always take dative. For example, schenken. Schenken means to gift. So you gift something, this is accusative. But to gift someone, this is dative. To whom am I gifting this? See? For example, let's see this sentence. Das Kind schenkt einer Freundin Blumen. The kid gifts a friend flowers. Das Kind is the subject. Schenkt is the verb. Einer Freundin is the indirect object or person. Your question would be, to whom is the kid gifting flowers? To the friend. And die Freundin or eine Freundin in dative would be einer Freundin. And Blumen are the direct object, therefore they say the same. In this sentence, you don't even need an article to the Blumen. Das Kind schenkt einer Freundin Blumen. Another special verb is helfen, to help. To help someone. This someone is always going to be in dative. Ich helfe dem Mann. Ich helfe dem Mann. I help the man. Wem ich helfe? Ich helfe dem Mann. So dem Mann is going to be the answer to the question, wem ich helfe. And because dem Mann is originally der Mann, and der in dative changes into dem, you say dem Mann. Another verb would be gehören. Gehören, which means belong. This something belongs to me. Me is the dative noun. Or for example, in this sentence, the car belongs to a friend. Das Auto gehört einem Freund. The car or das Auto is the pronoun. Gehört, the verb belong, is the verb, obviously. And finally, you are asking to whom does this car belong? And the answer is to a friend, einem Freund. Das Auto gehört einem Freund. Einem Freund because it's originally der Freund or ein Freund, and in dative it changes into einem Freund. And just like the first sentence we saw, the verb geben, to give, is also a special verb. I give something, this is accusative. I give someone something. Someone is in dative and something is in accusative. For example, in this sentence, ich gebe meiner Mutter einen Apfel. I give my mother an apple. The questions that you could ask are, for example, was gebe ich meiner Mutter? What do I give my mother? I give her an apple. Therefore, einen Apfel, because Apfel is in this case accusative, because it answers to the question was, the direct object. And you add einen because Apfel is originally der, which changes in accusative into den or einen. However, if you ask, to whom am I giving the apple? The answer is, of course, meiner Mutter, to my mother. So this noun is in dative. So we have to change the article based on the case dative. Meine Mutter is the original form, and in dative, the feminine word changes into adding an R. So it's meine Mutter. So as you can see, you can change the articles, der, die, das, ein, eine, mein, meine, dein, deine, and so on. And they all go the same way. Ich gebe meiner Mutter einen Apfel. The second special thing that you have to know is that dative usually comes in nouns that are before Präpositionen, prepositions. For example, in this sentence, the man goes to the bus station. In German, you would say, der Mann geht zu dem Bahnhof. Zu means to, and dem Bahnhof should be in dative. Because the second most important question that is asked by dative is wo, which means where. Wo. Where does the man go to? The man goes to the bus station. Bus station, it is dative because it comes after zu, which is a preposition. It's originally der Bahnhof, therefore in dative der changes into dem and you write dem Hauptbahnhof or dem Bahnhof. This doesn't apply to all prepositions. There are some that are not for dative, but for now we are going to go through the ones that are for dative. So the first one is zu, and then comes mit or with. For example, in this sentence, I play with the kid. Ich spiele mit dem Kind. Ich spiele, pronoun verb, mit, preposition. Therefore, automatically you should know that the noun after mit would be in dative. In this case, das Kind changes into dem Kind. Ich spiele mit dem Kind. Ich spiele mit dem Kind. And the final preposition for today is bei, at. For example, you are at a friend's place. Du bist bei einer Freundin. The word place, you don't have to mention this in German. You are at a friend, translated into English, is the same as you are at a friend's place. Du bist, pronoun verb, bei, preposition, einer Freundin, a dative noun. Die Freundin changes into, or eine Freundin changes into einer Freundin in dative. So we have zu, mit, and bei. As I said, there are a couple of more, but for now we are going to focus on those three. Let's look at more general sentences. Like, do you want to help my friends? Willst du meinen Freunden helfen? See here, the verb that you should pay attention to is the last verb, helfen. And helfen is a verb where the noun is in dative. Therefore, you say meinen Freunden. Why meinen Freunden? Because you are talking about plural. And as we know, plural words in dative, the D changes into den. In other words, meinen instead of meine. And as you can see, you add the N at the end of the word Freunde. So it's Freunden. The meaning stays the same, with or without N. Freunde and Freunden both mean friends. but it is necessary to write the N at the end. Willst du meinen Freunden helfen? Wir sind in der Schule. We are at school. In is also a preposition that takes dative. Therefore, you change die Schule into der Schule. Wir sind, pronoun verb, in, preposition, der Schule, the changed noun with the correct article. Wir sind in der Schule. I understand that at the beginning this could be a bit confusing, but again, with time and practice, it's going to get easier. Try to write some sentences. Try to practice. Try to talk in front of the mirror, for example, and build more complicated sentences now that you are capable of. The last sentence is, the house belongs to my family. Belongs is a verb where the noun is dative after. Therefore, you say, das Haus gehört meiner Familie. Das Haus gehört meiner Familie. So you change meine into meiner to make it obvious that Familie is the noun in dative. Try to answer this question. Was willst du morgen machen? What are you going to do tomorrow? Use future verbs and use nouns in both accusative and dative. And we will see what we could say. A possible answer could be, Ich werde morgen mit meinem Hund spazieren gehen. Ich will meine Familie besuchen. Dann werde ich Kaffee in einem Restaurant trinken. Am Abend werde ich in meinem Schlafzimmer ein Buch lesen und dann schlafen. Tomorrow I will go on a walk with my dog. I want to visit my family. Then I will drink coffee in a restaurant. At the evening, I will read a book in my bedroom and then I will sleep. So, how are you doing? And that was the end of this lesson. Now that you know future, accusative, and dative, you would be able from now on to build more complicated sentences, and correctly, of course. So, take it step by step. Go through the things we learned so far, and then come back. Next lesson, we are going to practice. So, if you feel that you are ready, we are going to continue. Until then, bye-bye.